My name is Tina, and I am a coupon blogger at freestufffinder.com. I am a mother of 2 and a wife to 1. Mr. FSF stands for Mr. Free Stuff Finder. He's my husband. His name is Jeremy, and he is a commercial photographer and videographer. He's my rock, literally. I've always wanted a little girl, so I felt really blessed when she came out, you know, and she was so easy. But she's going through the terrible twos right now, so she's a little bit more difficult because she doesn't have the language. But Sophie is smart, she's beautiful, and she's really stubborn, really stubborn. I think having kids, being a parent is hard. Ryan he's gentle, but he can also be rowdy. He's caring, he's kind, he is persistent. He is kind of sneaky sometimes when he does things that I don't want him to do and he knows I don't want him to do. Like, he's really into Captain Hook, and he will steal all my hangers. He uses the hook from the hanger for Captain Hook's hand. My frugality comes from my upbringing. I grew up in communist China. My parents made 100 RMB per month, which is probably the equivalent of $10. We lived in a military compound, and we shared an apartment with another family. We shared the kitchen and the bathroom. And my whole family lived in one room, just one room. The bed was in there, the couch was in there, the TV was in there. It was my mom's idea to leave China, and we immigrated to Canada. And it was through my dad. He came first, yeah. He went first, and then we came, 2 years later. We moved to Canada when I was 10, about 10, and we packed. My mom and we packed everything that we owned in suitcases. I think we showed up in like 4 or 8, I don't even remember, big suitcases, and we packed everything, like blankets, pillows, winter clothes, summer clothes, everything we owned. I didn't speak a lick of English. I'm drawn to couponing because it just feels like saving money and just doing the most that you can with every dollar is ingrained in who I am. I was brought up in this environment of just frugality, not necessarily because of a choice, but because of necessity. I didn't have a lot of things growing up. First in communist China, and then when we moved here, we had like nothing. When we got off the plane, we had $500. We lived in the basement of someone's house in kind of a, I call it ghetto now, but at the time I thought it was like the most beautiful place. I remember coming out of the basement the next morning after we got here and seeing the trees and the leaves, and I thought this was like so beautiful. I was like, wow, I'm in North America, comparatively, yeah. Going to school in North America and not knowing how to speak English was really hard. It was really hard. Kids are pretty mean. Waterloo is a pretty hard school to get into, and my mom was pretty proud. She was essentially a single mom because my parents had split up when I was 12, and she was the only one carrying the weight for me and her, and she was just working all the time. I actually created the math club at the time in high school because in order to get into Waterloo, and I knew that that's where I wanted to go, because it would give me the best option for my future, for work. So I majored in math at Waterloo and specialized in computer science. And in my second year in university, I was hired by Amazon.com to work there as a computer programmer. So I moved to Seattle, and I would move back every term. I would go back to school and then come back, move back to Seattle. And then when I graduated, I took a permanent position at Amazon. I was literally one of like 2 girls in a big group of guys. I met my husband at Amazon.com. We dated for not very long. Okay, we got married 6 months after we met. It was like, I don't know. It just felt right. I feel like looking back, all the experiences I had as a kid and growing up in communist China and having a single mom has brought me to who I am and my values at this moment. You know, I've learned that through being frugal and being smart with your money and not being afraid to face adversity and to work your way through it, and that working hard does pay off. So I left Amazon eventually because as much as I loved the job, I felt limited and there were other things I wanted to do. And blogging was one of those things that came around that it felt right. And what I'm passionate about at the end of the day is creating communities and connecting with people and feeling like what I do matter on a personal level. I was looking for fulfillment, and so that's kind of what got me started. FSF is my baby. It really is. And there's nothing more fulfilling than getting an email or a DM from someone who is a reader of the site, letting me know that it's helped them. I think that's what keep me going, at least.